Hello all, Bouncy Bat here for another sitting next to a guy who's kind of got quite a bad cold simulator and is kind of bored and hasn't done a qualifier in a while. Simulator play. You get the picture. Today we're playing the qualifier play-in, which is we're in the big leagues. Hashtag pro gamer, yo, for life. Yeah, you were here when it happened. Yeah, number one, this guy. Honest. Anyway, today we're doing qualifier playing. For those of you who don't know what qualifiers are, I don't really know what they are that much either. So let's read this together. Okay, so I get all 4 match wins in this play-in event to earn my seat. Phantom, Traditional, Dominaria, United, Sealed. I'm better at Sealed than I am Draft the minute, I think, which is good. A lot of it depends on what I get in those 3 packs and what I actually like playing with that. But best of 3 is weird with, especially with Sealed, because you can just make the complete opposite deck every single game that you play. So you could play 3 completely different decks using 3 completely different sets of cards each time, which is really weird. If you've got, I think you have like 2 minutes to sideboard stuff, which is really weird. Really weird. But yeah, sideboards and individual timers. But yeah, if I win 4 matches, come back tomorrow for the qualifier weekend. Yeah! Entrance must be 18 or over, because technically it's gambling, I guess. But that's what we're doing today. I've already tried one of these earlier today. It went really badly. I got beat by some guy who was running I don't know the card name. It was like 2 white mana for a 2/2 with first strike, and it has like 2 mana. You can buff it up. You can give it +1/+1, and he was just sat there with 0 cards in his hand and like 10 land untapped. I was on like 10 life, and that's all he was attacking with. And it's like, dude, you could win this game. And yet he made me go on 4 more turns, 2 of which I drew land, 2 of which I drew the puniest of puniest creatures that just got immediately kill spelled. Ugh. But anyway, let's just go for this and see how we do. I am confirming my purchase. Let us open the sealed. Oh, Khan. I really wish this wasn't Phantom. Well, we've got 3 white rares, which is good, and Khan, who is kind of good. I haven't actually seen the new Khan. He hasn't seen play, so I don't know whether he's any good or not. I'd assume not that great yet, until some deck figures this mess out, create power stones. It's like, okay. Pay any amount of mana, look at that many cards from the top of your library, then put one of those cards in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's pretty interesting. So in effect, you can just -1 him every turn and draw cards. Or you can, for like 4 turns as well. The chances of a Planeswalker sticking around that long aren't that great anyway, so whatever. And his +1 creates tapped add colorlesses, which isn't great, but his -7 tap and untap that effect you control. This emblem deals 1 damage to any target. Yeah, so I guess the idea is to protect Khan, make power stones, and then use the emblem to just ping your opponent down. They deal 1 damage to any target as well, which is great. Getting a Khan emblem feels kind of fun. We've got this guy who's basically a vigilance, slightly sort of better version of Spellbinder. Oh, Leyline Binding, which is like a kind of better version because it's got flash, but it's sort of more expensive. But sometimes it isn't version of the 3 mana white enchantment that you know what it does. It exiles stuff until it leaves play. It's nothing new really. It's fun with the domain, and that it has flash as well is a kind of an added benefit. Danitha, who is an instant kill spell target in draft because she is a fucking bitch, or maybe he. I, do, I just don't really know. I just don't know. I'm sorry. There's probably someone out there who knows, but that guy is not me. Also got a Lum Speaker. Lum Speaker is the goodish version of Llanowar Elves in Dominaria, I guess. It's kind of fun. He's got a happy little tree friend behind him, which is kind of cute. But yeah, he makes 3/3 elemental creatures out of your lands with haste. Always fun. Activate only as a sorcery, sadly. Loom. And we've got Namata, Primeval Warden. I keep thinking is an uncommon because he might as well be. If a creature an opponent controls would die, you make a 1/1 Saproling. Like, great. Sack a Saproling, give him +2/+2 until end of turn. Which is like, you know, he's... I don't know. He's like a worse version of Toxrill. He's like Toxrill that doesn't kill stuff. He's the mold. He's a mold, not a slug. You know? But there you go. Anyway, let's see what we're actually going to be playing with. Because the chance of us drawing into rares is like... Blech. It's blech. Let's see all of the cards that I rate. I rate Destroy Evil. Samite Herbalist I do kind of rate, but we're not going to be using him, I don't think. Annoying Peacekeeper is okay because of the Vigilance. Vigilance is way underrated. That guy, he can be clutch late game, but that is a lot to give you creatures +1/+1 until end of turn. Mesa Cavalier I kind of rate because flying. This guy I rate less than Mesa Cavalier because he's a 2/2, but flying. This thing, again, kind of got to rate. It's a 2/3, which is harder to kill, but then it's only 2 damage. It's sometimes 3. Heroic Charger do rate, but you want to be running Boros with it. So, meh. This thing's great. It's 4-minder binding. Danitha's Brill. What's this? Phalanx, 6 mana for a 4/4. Ooh, it's okay. I have not seen much play of this. Leyline Binding's great. Don't rate that. Have not seen enough of this to know what it does. Coral Colony. Coral Colony is great in Defender decks. It's a 1/4 Defender for 2, which is pretty good. The 1 damage is like better than you think. Essence Scatter is a counter spell. If you're running them in draft, that's fair enough. It's just, I don't know. If I build blue in draft, I tend to leave counter spells out. I take a counter spell over a really crap card that I have to play because colours, pretty much. But I tend to leave them out. They usually hit stuff, and they usually hit stuff pretty good. But I don't know. It's just hard to predict. It's hard to predict when the right kind of players with that. Impulse, I rate. Joint Exploration is adequate. Oh my god, we've got 4 Phyrexian Espionage. We might be building blue-black, you know. This bitch is... it's just very, very adequate. It's a very adequate card that barely sees play in Sealed, and also barely sees play in... it's a merfolk, okay? That's about it. Phyrexian Espionage is great. It's like the biggest draw in the set, basically. Solarian Gaza, if you're using blue-white, it's good. Talus Lookout's pretty good. It's a 3/2 with flying, which is actually kind of big for a flyer in the set. I don't think you get above 4 flying. I could be wrong. Yeah, other than the dragons, but you don't tend to see mythics in Sealed that often anyway. than my Karn. Tolarian Terror is great. Honestly, it's great. It's great. Let's just put that one in there as well. Battlesworn Fly sees a lot of use. Cult Conscript, kind of good, kind of not. Depends what you're running. Battle Rage Blessing, I absolutely despise running cards that give Death Touch and Indestructible. It's one of those things where it's like, it never seems that great when I'm playing it, but when someone else is playing it, sometimes that just scuppers your plans completely. Knight of Dusk Shadow is like, oh, it's a beautiful card. Your opponent's can't gain life is on a 2 mana for a 2/2 with Menace. That's hell yeah, I'll play that. I'll play that any day of the week. Knights of Dusk Shadow is great. Added the 2 mana, it gets +2 +1/+1 until end of turn. Makes it a really kind of devastating play around. What I like about this knight is that that's exactly what it is. It's a knight. It's in chess, you have, your pawns just go forward, your castles, they go forward and sideways, your bishops go diagonal, but your knight moves in a really weird way, and that's what Knights of Dusk Shadows let you do. I love that card. Phyrexian Vivisector is okay. It's 2 mana for a 2/2. When it dies, scry 1. Not that useful. You can play it if you want. Toxic Bomb is actually quite high powered sometimes. I've had games where this is the highest power you get up to. But you lose 2 life, so I do not like losing life in games. Balduvian Atrocity. Again, one of those cards where it's like, I've seen people play this well. I don't like using it. The menace on it is the best part. The kicker is really useful if your opponent's not got anything out. It lets you pay 1 mana to get an extra couple of points of damage, and usually it's just a 2/3 with menace, but there you go. Kill spells are just great any day of the week. Gaining 3 life from them, even better. This thing I haven't actually played with yet. We might be running Jeskai again, I ran Jeskai last time and lost, so do we not? Who knows? What's this thing do? As it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, mill 4. Okay. Highest mana value among cards in my graveyard, which sits pretty much most of the game going to be like 4 mana for a 3/3. Kind of good, kind of naff. It can be a 5/5, but there you go. This is the daddy. That is what you need. Also, quick note, if you will look at the knight in this, and then look at the knight in this, it's like basically the same friggin' knight. Madness. Cool stuff. Right. Furious Bellow, I have seen work. It just gives the first strike. Goblin Picker is a goblin. It lets you discard and draw. It's okay. Thrill is a brilliant card. I love Thrill. Meh. 2 mana for a 2/2 within list. It's just, it is a common 2/2. This is the standard creature at the minute. It's not good. It's not bad. It's very average. Flowstone Kavu. 4/1 with Menace. Pretty good sometimes. It can get damage in. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. It's just not that adequate. We're definitely not running red. I can tell you that much. Unless I have something ridiculously good monocolored, I'm not running red at all. Warhost's Frenzy. +2/+0, and then when it's kicked, the creature you control dies this turn, draw a card. Like, one of those cards where it's like, oh, I need this on my very last turn before I win. When I've played all my big stuff with Trample, it's like, yeah. Like, if you've got like 5 goblins out, that can be handy, but getting to have 5 goblins out is pretty hard. Or just 5 creatures in general. For 3 mana, you could do way more damage with something else, I guess. That's where I sit on that. Coalition Warbrood's a really good card. 3/4 is pretty big. Enlist makes it bigger, and a thing with Enlist and Trample is like, ooh, icing. Cherry on cake. Right there. Green, beautiful green. Dominaria green, that's where we like it. Vine Wall is probably the best card in the set because it lets you pay 2 mana and basically fix your mana in sealed. Like, it's just a land card, it's not done basic, and then puts it into your hand. And look at all of this frickin' land I've got. Haunted by a Geothermal Bog, Old Tributary, Contaminated Aquifer, Idyllic Beachfront. All of the lands, and even more lands. The lands keep coming. Such much land. This guy equally okay in Dominaria. Lets you fix mana. This guy's one to watch out for. 2 mana, and on turn 3 he can be a 5/3 with Trample, which is like friggin' insane. Pretty good. I really like green in the set. Snare Spinner's really good if you're playing like mono green or something that doesn't have much reach or flying. Flying creatures don't get that big in sealed, and more specifically they don't get that big in sealed Dominaria. A 3/3 with reach will take out most threats or be able to block most threats. Bog Badger's kind of fun because given everything menace is just bonkers for a turn. This has won me many a sealed event, many a draft event. Bog Badger's pretty good. 3 mana for 3/3 is pretty good too. A 3/3 is quite big again, so always useful. This one, Death Touch, is like just clutch in. Death Touch is just great in sealed. Just stuff that kills stuff immediately is just so useful. You don't have to try and overpower something with your really janky, awkward deck. You can just go, I'm just going to block that. As well as that, it stops people attacking you with the big stuff as well, which can sometimes be more useful than him just attacking and then you're rid of the Death Toucher, because you can play something else big and then want to protect both of the things, but he doesn't know which one you're going to pick, so it's, it can make life awkward. Death Touch makes life awkward. Scout the Wilderness. Says you labor for a basic land card, put on the battlefield tap for 3. Kicker, create 2 white soldiers. With the Kicker, it's a kind of a good card. 5 mana, ramp up a bit, make soldiers. Because it's 2. Yeah, worth playing. Worth playing. It's on the just above average pile for me. 4 mana for a 2/5 with Enlist. That's a thing. 2/5 is like a big blocker. The fact that it has Enlist is pretty good, but I don't massively rate it. This guy is the big boy. He is sometimes a 10/10, sometimes a 2/2, sometimes a 4/4, sometimes a 6/6, and sometimes an 8/8. More often than not, he is a 6/6, an 8/8, or a 10/10 though. Again, this guy down on turn 5 when you've got 5 of the tappy lands, so you've or 1 of each basic. Pretty good. Pretty good. You don't get bigger than a 10/10 in the set really, so slapping him down and wait for the kill spells to come a roll in. Reasons why Writhing Necromass is great. It's a 5/5 that kills stuff anyway because it's got Death Touch. Yavimaya Sojourner might be my favourite of the domain cards. Not domain cards, the costs less to cast kind of cards. So there's this one, Tolarian Terror, Writhing Necromass, and then there's the red one, which is a big worm thing that has trample and costs 1 less for the amount of power you've got on the board or something silly like that. It's a 5/5 with trample, so it's just huge. I like that the green one, they made it be 4/6 instead. I don't know whether there's a white one. I don't think that there is a white one. I think there's just the Sojourner. But there you go. I might actually play 4-colour deck. And I might be wrong to do that, to be fair. Hey, who knows? Oh, it's going through putting good stuff in one night. Loam speaker can go in. You can go in. You can go in. You can go in. You can go in. Big stuff. White black menace 3/3. Sack another creature. Purpose one puts one card on each creature you control. Kind of good. I haven't really messed around with Orzhov that much in the set, so I don't know how good that is. I'm guessing sacking creatures isn't that great in draft because it's quite hard to get them back. But there you go. He's a card that would pair really well with Cult Conscript and another creature, or another like 5 creatures as well would pair quite well with that. Rona, I haven't. Rona, lol. That's what I've got, probably. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses a life. It's pretty good. And you can cast it from your graveyard by scanning 2 cards in addition to paying its other costs. I really want to make a standard deck around this and just like draw, and maybe the like Esper, or I think it's called like Obscura Ascendancy. Maybe I think it's Ascendancy. We make spirits and just draw stuff, because that's what I like to do. So I just like to make decks that draw lots of cards and do silly things. But there you go. Land. Namata's pretty good. 3/4 with reach is pretty good. It can block most threats in the air. It can block a lot of ground targets until you start hitting the real late game. And whenever your opponent's stuff dies, you get a 1/1 out of it, which is really useful. I've been through this guy anyway. He might be going in because I might be running black-green anyway. Rada Coalition Warlord's really good if you can get it down early. Whenever it becomes tapped, another creature you control gets +X/+X, where X is your domain. Pretty good. 4 mana. You know, you play it on 4, swing on turn 5, and something gets +5/+5. Pretty good, right? Pretty good. Land. Bird is fun. Bird brings us back to the old Borisy decks that used to use. They're like Weapon Master dude in whatchamacalls it? Frickin' the Harry Potter one. The Lowerhold, Prismari, I'm on cold and flu medicine, alright, just shut up. Baird, he is good. That's all I'm gonna say on him. 2 mana for a 2/2 that sometimes makes 1/1 white soldiers. If you can buff stuff, he's handy. That's all I'll say about him. Another random island. Crystal Grow is real handy and sealed, but is also real not handy most of the time. Scrying's good. Adding a mana is good for land, obviously. Colorless, boo. It's not a basic land type, which sucks, but it does let you add a mana of any color, and your opponent cannot take that away from you, no matter how hard he tries in sealed. I don't think there's any destroy target land, apart from the Liana. But most of the time you still have land, luckily. Inscribed Tablet I have seen people using. I can't remember what it does, because it's a really long card text. It basically lets you draw a card, I think. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's a pretty good turn 1 play. If you've got this and a 1/1 in your hand, it sets you up quite nicely. I might put that in, actually. I don't get it often. If I play draft, I just whatever it, basically. Oh, we've got Jodas and we've got Khan. And so much freaking land. It's beautiful. Am I playing 4 color? I mean, like, kinda, right?
I think we get rid of the Knight of Dusk Shadows. I think we add in a Bog Badger and a Scout the Wilderness. I'm not going to run Rada or Baird because I don't think I want to run red. Because my red pool kind of sucks. I'm not getting much out of my red pool. The only thing that I'd want to put in really would be the War Brute and maybe Warhost Frenzy. But, I've got 4 Phyrexian Espionage, so I'm definitely playing blue. That with Impulse, Telarian Terror, and Talus Lookout is pretty fun. We could run the Geyser if we run white as well, which I think we might be doing. I could get rid of a bit of white, actually. I think we're definitely running Danither. We're running Binding because Domain. We'll run Danither because chances are we're going to draw into some white at some point anyway. It's 5 mana, so like I'm okay running stuff at high manas as like if right, how do I explain this? So if you run something low down, what you wanna do with Dominaria Sealed is run 1 or 2 colors low down, even up to 3 really. 1 or 2. You want 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors, and chances are you're gonna be drawing into stuff if you're running a domain deck in Sealed. It is really handy that there's only 40 cards in the deck because your chances of drawing into some of this stupid land is really good. I've got quite a lot of it this Sealed, and I think the last 2 events that I've run, I've only got like 4 of them. It's always good. I think they're all dual lands as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's no Yavimaya Coast or anything in there, so that's handy. Really what the cards are telling me to do is get rid of this Extinguish the Light and this Battlefly Swarm, because in just black, the only thing that I really want to run is the Knight, the Swarm, and the Kill Spell. The Kill Spell's really good. Kill Spells are really, really, really good in draft and in Sealed. Thing is, if we run black as well, we could run Rona as well and try and sort of just try and get over the top with instance a bit, which is good with the 4 Phyrexian etchings. However, she's only a 3/4, not great. She does get around the tendency of Sealed to create 2 big walls and then just stay there for a bit until someone gets something to power on through. So she is a chip away card, which is nice. A lot of these are chip away cards. A lot of the legendaries are actually quite good, especially these uncommon ones. They are actually quite good in Sealed. You just need to build the deck kind of around them. And they get a lot of use. A whole lot of use. I tell you what. I tell you for what, son. I'm going to get rid of... I'm quite high on 3, aren't I? I'm going to get rid of a basic Cavalier. I'm going to get rid of Griffin Protector because I don't rate him. I might get rid of the Sky Knight as well. I don't particularly rate him. We're quite high on 3 at the minute. I might be getting rid of a Bog Badger. Yeah, if I get rid of a Bog Badger, we're getting the manas in, so I think we add in the awkward kill spell. Because it is a good awkward kill spell. Could put in some salvage mana workers. What are we running? So our perfect hand is like an inscribed talisman, non-basic to match with that. into like a turn 2 non-basic into something like this, into a turn 3 non-basic into something like this again, and then yeah, kind of awkward. Just hoping that our next opponent isn't running anything too aggro. So that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Someone not running anything aggro. What's the land looking like? Land is on 17 at the minute. Really annoys me that these are Baldur's Gate lands. Really, really annoys me. So we've got 1 blue, 2 blue, 3 blue. I might need to write this down actually, so as I do not forget. It's what the pros do, honest. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3 blue, 4 blue actually. Four blue, 2 white. 1, 2, 3 black. Kind of awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4 red. That is good because it means that I don't actually have to run red really. And then greed, we've got 1, 2, 3 greed. So really, we want to be running like green and white and black. We've got the 4 blue in, which is kind of good. I think we just leave land is, and I think what do we take out? I want all my nice big things in. Is that an aura? Do I have an aura? Do I even have an equipment to go with Danether? I do not have an equipment to go with Danether. Do I even have an aura to go with Danether? I don't think I do. Is that an aura? No. Is that an aura? No. Danether does not have an aura or equipment from my hand or graveyard. Kind of lame. It is a 4/4 with first strike, vigilance, and lifelink. However, the lifelink being the most important part. Lifelink and first strike is just like, yeah, okay. And vigilance is like, okay, I'll attack with that every turn then. Like, yeah, okay. Feels pretty good. I think I get rid of the Talus Lookout. Phyrexian Etchings is kind of good. Do I run 4 of them? Kind of, yes. I could take the Impulse out. I know that I'm going to take Tablet out, I think. But then, in like the first 2 games, I'm just going to be like, yeah, no. Should have run Tablet. I'll tell you what, we'll take Tablet out. We'll hope to draw one of these in turn 1. And then turn 2, we can go for these. And turn 3, we'll see what we're doing. That's enough turn 2 stuff to get away with things. It's a bit in green, which is good. I don't know. I guess it's Scarlet Wilderness. Coalition Skydie, I'm not too happy with. Prayer of Binding is really good because it gains his life and it exiles a non-land permanent specifically, which is great. I just don't bloody know, you know. I don't want to take any of our big things out. See, like, that is really like a turn 3 or 4 play. So we've only really got 3 big things, and they're not that big. Territorial Marrow is pretty good. We're running quite a lot high. Joda's Codex should let us draw a bit in. I think if we take Impulse out, run a little bit lower on blue, and we take another Espionage out, because I don't want to be running too much blue and then not have any. Your 1, 2. Do I run a mountain? Is a question. Do I run all of this non-basic land? Bigger question. 6, 7, 8. 8 non-basics. It's like half our land base. That could get awkward. Scout the wilderness. Let's search for a basic land card. Do those count as basic land cards? No, they do not, because they don't have basic land on them. Basic land is its own friggin' thing. Oh, illness, sorry. I think that'll probably do us. I'm gonna not run a mountain. I'm probably gonna regret it, but hey ho. Time to pick a sleeves is, I guess. Dominaria sleeves, right? Let's run friggin'.
A bonfire is brighter than a room of candles.
Let's run.
We must stick together.
Shut up, Jaya. Let's run Jaya. Even though she apparently annoys me. And then we go into our pretty lands. Fun fact, if you are like me and you like to run your nice, beautiful, pretty lands, that's how you do it. You just click the land button and you go to the set that your land is from. Ooh, pretty. See, like, look at how beautiful that is. And I'm never going to play it because I've got this beautiful land instead. Oh, ain't that sweet? Swamp. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boy. And that's 40 out of 40. Well, that is the end of my first video of qualifiers. I hope you've enjoyed watching me illy mumble to myself. I think it's time for a lemsip or tea or tissue break. And hope you all enjoy the next video. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. I've been Bouncy Bear. Have a good day.